How's it going, fellow Saiyans and other life forms? As you can see in today's video, because you guys requested it, I am going to show the Lord Slug deck that I played in the Chicago Celebrations Gunslinger event on Sunday. So, like I had said in my prize coverage video, I played Lord Slug. So, if you don't know, on Lord Slug's unawakened side, his activate main is choose one card in your life, and then he gains critical for the turn. So, yeah, and of course you run Champa. So usually when I would do it would be if I didn't get wings on my first in my hand to start the game, and I didn't get a wings off the taking a life, and I had a Champa or Supreme Kai because I ran both of them. Only because I totally forgot where my other. I was just too lazy to get my other Champas out, but I always specified I'm giving him double strike just so that people can rule shark you. But yeah, if I didn't have wings, I'd try to go for double strike crit early in the game. And then on his awakened side, when he attacks, he draws. That's the kind of bad part, that he doesn't draw when you attack on the front, but they didn't really think about that stuff early in the designing of the game. And then activate main, you place one card from your hand, and then your opponent also has to discard one, which I actually did in my 5th match against someone. Because he had 2 cards, and I managed to make him discard one, and then he didn't really have anything to get me with. So yeah, there's the leader for the deck. I played 4 of wings. Obviously, he's the main thing that helps this whole thing run smoothly. He's a 1-drop 5k. He has barrier, but the most important thing is his permanent is there could only be one of them in play in your battle area, but then reduce the energy cost of Slug's army cards in your hand by 1. So he helps reduce everything that's Lord Slug, which really comes in handy later on. So I played 4 wings, and then I only played 2 of the Lord Slug Return to Form, just because I didn't really realize that it said choose one Slug army with an energy cost of 4 from your deck and play it. For some reason, I had thought that this said it only gets the 4-drop Lord Slug, which I was really stupid. So really, this should be a 4 of in your deck because it helps you find all your pieces. So yeah, play 4 of this. I was stupid. I mean, it could even search your wings for later on. Then I played 4 of Xian the Loyal. He's a free blocker. The only time that this kind of sucks is if they have the Black Mass Saiyan on field, but my opponent did have that, and I blew it up later on with Krillin, so I was able to play my blockers to defend myself. Then I played 4 of the Destruction Rare Lord Slug Agent of Destruction. His autos. So yeah, this is just a 5k blocker that plays for free if there's Lord Slug as your leader or in your battle area. So then this one, it's when you play this card, your opponent places 1 card from their hand and places it in the drop area. I'll have to say, I totally skipped that first auto, and yeah, some of my opponents didn't drop till later on. I did realize it, and then I made them drop their card. So But yeah, so it's pretty good. They drop a card, and then his activate main, which let me just try to get closer. So his activate main says, once per turn, for 1 green energy, choose 1 Slug's army from your hand, other or with an original cost of 3 or less, other than Lord Slug, Agent of Destruction, and play it. So for 1 energy, you could get some of your other stuff that's way better, like this one, the Adonic Warrior Anguilla. It's a critical 3 costs for 15k, and it has an auto bond 2. When this card attacks, if your leader card is Slug's army, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in their drop. So you're automatically making them drop 1 just every time you attack, and then if they can't negate or they can't block your skill, then they lose a life they get a life created to the drop area. And if they negate it, then they still lose 2 cards from their hand. 1 to negate, and then 1 because the auto still goes off. So it's pretty good. And then one of the cards that does so much combos, the Lord Slug Young again. He has Bond 2. When you play this card, if your leader is Slug's army, choose 1 Slug army from your drop area with an energy cost of 3 or less and play it. Then choose 1 of your energy and switch it to active mode. So, Wings reduces this to a 3 drop. Then, when you play him, you get to play 1 of your cards from the drop area, and you restand an energy. So literally, you're playing this for 2 energy. Just 2. And the main combo that I would do with this is I would either combo this, or you could use the Lord Slug's ability to make your opponent drop a card. Throw this. You play this. He gets this back because it just has Slug's army. So you get him. You have 2 energies open now. Or not 2. I mean, if you play this turn 3, you have 1 energy open. Which, I mean, super good anyway. So they drop 1 because it doesn't say when you play this card from your hand. It's just when you play it. So they dropped 1. You got another card on board. You pay the 1 energy. And if you have this, you have to have this card in your hand in order for this to happen. Because he only plays original cost 3 or less from your hand other than Slug, Agent of Destruction. So you play this, and then he gets Anguilla. You swing with Anguilla. Your opponent drops another card, then you critical them. So now they're two to 3 cards down, depending on what they do. And then you could attack with these. And then, like, if you manage to get out 2 Slug Young again, which I did 1 game. It was the first game, and I lost only because I totally attacked stupidly. So my opponent didn't have a hand. No, so yeah. 1 turn I played this, then I played this. So then I played that again. And then my first one I had another energy open, so I actually had 3 Anguillas on field, the 2 Lord Slug Young again, the 2 Agent of Destructions, and 3 Anguillas. and my stupid self attacked with all 3 of these first. It's what you really want to do. Let's say your opponent has no cards then in hand. You'd want to attack with one of these, so they'll automatically take it because it's 20 to 15 if they don't have anything to combo with. So they take a card. Then you attack with one of these. That card that they got from their life dropped. And now they take a critical. Then you'd want to attack again with one of the Lord Slugs. They take the life. Then you attack with critical again. You attack with one of these. You attack them with the critical again. They keep dropping the cards. And then that's how you win. But I stupidly attacked out of order, and so my opponent was able to get cards back in hand. So just learn from my mistakes and don't attack like that. So yeah, that's for that. And then we also run the Titanic Ambition Lord Slug. So he's an EX evolve for 2 green over a 4-drop, so he can only evolve over the Lord Slug Young again. But he gains he gains double strike, my bad. He gains double strike, and then he has Bond 3, which, if you have Wings and Anguilla and the other Lord Slug from the turn before, then you play this, which will have the Bond 3, and your opponent, you choose 3 cards from your opponent's hand. You don't get to look at it like hit, so they'll have to show you their cards, if any, and they'll be like this, and then you just choose 3 cards. I was super lucky. I played one of my opponents, and I managed to rip their super combo and a Mafuba out of their hand. And then, like, for another opponent, I'm pretty sure I got their super combos also. So, like, they really, really didn't have anything. Or their negates. So, it was pretty awesome. So, that was it for the Lord Slug cards. It was a best of 1. So, then you really want to have cards to counter any other thing that you play. The only cards that I didn't play that I would maybe add, but I'd have to figure out what to take out, would be like the General Tao, just because if you're playing a mirror match, then you Lord Tao, so then every time they try to get you to drop cards, they're going to be dropping cards. 3 cards for 1 card that you drop. So, I mean, you'll really get to them then. But I played 1 Cronoa. Probably should have played 2. But I only played 1 Broly, and I managed to get it off my first draw. And I Cronoa'd them, and they were playing Shugesh, so it really shut them down. Played 3 Double Impact Krillin for the for Mercenary Tao if you were playing against it, or the Striving to be the best Son Goku, because then 2 drops can attack. But most of my attackers were 3 cost, so it didn't really matter. But this was mostly for like General Tao or the Black Mass Saiyan, since my blockers play for free, and yeah, I needed to kill the Black Mass Saiyan so I wouldn't have to drop cards to play my blockers for free. Then I had 2 Super 17 Infernal Machine. I never got to play this, but the reason for it is when this card attacks, it can't be negated, and then when you play the card, you could choose 2 cards in your hand, and your opponent has to drop 2. So, I mean, just more hand destruction there. I played one Energy Barrage Frieza only because he's a double strike. He has barrier, and just in case somebody was playing something that had barrier, this could KO anything with barrier. So that was my logic behind it. I played one Kami's Power. He's a barrier double strike again, just like the Frieza. But this Bond 2, you could KO whatever doesn't have barrier. So that was my idea. This was for a card with barrier. This was for KOing other stuff. I never really played them. There was a turn I could have played the Kami's Power, and it kind of would have came in a clutch, but I still managed to win that game. I ran 2 Shenron Figure of Majesty, only because your leader is a draw 2. And so, yeah, you don't really get to awaken any energies. I mean, you do have the Lord Slug Young again, and the Wings dropping your energy costs, and then the Young again untapping an energy. So, I mean, it kind of helps since you don't really get that far. But I actually did play Shenron one turn. It was like the only game that I went to like 5 energies. So I played this on turn 4. I think I managed to play like Anguilla or something that turn, just to push my opponent back a little, get their hands down with the 2 energies that I untap with this. And then the next turn, like, I played Lord Slug. Then I managed to get more energies. I played another Lord Slug, and then I just flooded my board with cards on field. I played for the Paragus. I mean, helping to get 4 cards and then like ditching a card that you don't need. Most of the times, if I didn't see that they were running anything like the Tau or Black Mass Saiyan, or like striving to be the best even though it didn't really matter, I usually killed the Krillin if I had it in hand, or my extra wing, like if I had another one. Like, you definitely don't want to keep hitting all your wings just in case. You never know, they might KO your wings and then you'd need to get another one. But like at one point, like once you kind of see that you really have a board set up, then having the wings on field doesn't really matter. Like I said, I played a Champa and an East Supreme Kai. Most likely you'll want to run 2 Champas just because it automatically gives the card that you combo with double strike. If you're using East Supreme Kai, you have to physically, or like actually like acknowledge and be like, okay, I'm giving this card double strike. Or else your opponent will be like, well, you didn't say double strike, so, or you didn't say that you gave a double strike, so it's a single strike or something. So, yeah, you definitely want to say that you're actually picking that. Then we played 2 Preemptive Strike. I played somebody who played Harudagarn with the Agents of Destruction, and I think he was trying to play Janemba or the Android 13 on me, and I Preemptive Striked it. So it was automatically dead. So it was pretty nice. I mean, it also comes in handy for like other cards, like Broly. If they're playing like the 4-drop, you Preemptive Strike it, and it never actually came onto the. It counts as it never actually came onto the field, so it dies, and then they don't get to go to the 6-drop. Then for negates, I played 3 Sacrifice only because you tap out a lot and you don't always have the Sparking 5 early on. And so I wanted to be able to negate an attack, especially if for some reason your opponent has like a deck that could do a lot of like crit or something early on, then you just want to be like, okay, negate, take a life, so then at least you get it to hand and don't have to lose your cards. Plus, I mean, this is like one of my favorite like kind of scenes in Dragon Ball Z, because you got Piccolo sacrificing himself to protect Gohan, and you know, you got this Gohan in that picture, so pretty cool. And then I played Shocking Death Ball, helped against Storm and stuff. I played one opponent, he played Bardock. I thought he was going to attack with Bardock, but instead he attacked with his leader first. Then I was just like, Shocking Death Ball, kill your Bardock, killed his line. Okay, so now talk about the matches. Alright, sorry, I had to take a quick cut. I forgot the list somewhere. So yeah, my first match, which I lost to, was to Janemba. Really, them milling me wasn't that bad of a thing, mainly because the 4-drop can bring a Lord Slug 3 or less from your drop to play. So, I mean, them milling me was just helping me get the pieces that I kind of needed back into play. And for one point, I had my opponent that was playing Janemba at 0 cards in hand. But, like I said, during the profile, I was swinging wrong, so I didn't alternate between swinging a card that gives him a card in hand and a card that dropped a card in hand. That was really my whole thing that I messed up. If I would have swung correctly, he would have had 0 cards in hand the whole time, and I would have actually beat Milled Janemba. And he was playing the Agent of Destruction as well, too. My second match, I played against the Baby deck. It wasn't too bad. At one point, my opponent took my Anguilla using the Body Change Ginyu, which kind of sucked. Which actually I messed up because I had used Body Change Ginyu against somebody, and I found out that if the Body Change Ginyu dies, then your opponent's supposed to give you your card back. Like, once it goes away on the field, the switch basically isn't permanent, I believe. I could be wrong about that. I probably would have to double check again. But yeah, I'd actually used it during the main game because I had Body Change Ginyu, or in the main event, because I was running the Vegeta GT. I actually used Body Change Ginyu to steal one of my opponent's Brolys, which was the game that I ended up winning then, because they couldn't get a Broly to keep going up the chain against me. But yeah, he stole my Anguilla, but eventually he basically misplayed doing basically the strategy that I was doing against that, basically how I lost against Janemba. He had my Anguilla, and instead he attacked with a card, gave me a card, then he attacked with Anguilla. So then I had a card I still had cards in my hand to combo with. And that's how he ended up not being able to beat me. But I mean, like, I understand you're playing with other, like, he took it, but he had never really thought about using the card the way it's supposed to be used. And so he didn't really know how to optimally attack with it. Which, I mean, since this was my, like, first big tournament, I technically didn't really know how to optimally, I mean, I never really played a match with the Lord Slug, but, like, after I got the hang of it, then I was just like, okay, so this is what I'm trying to do, so I kind of knew what to do. From that, Game 3, I played against Broly. Broly beat me only because he kept getting stronger, and then later on he was just able to keep popping all my blockers, which I believe I saw somebody else's video, but yeah, you really don't want to play the blockers when you're playing against Broly, only because his leader has that ability where he could blow up something on his field and blow up something on your field, so he'll use your blocker in order to help himself get up to the 8-drop Broly. So plus, it's hard to kill their hand when the Broly just draws to 6 every turn. I mean, unless you have enough cards, like, all together, and then you're able to just keep milling him down to 0, or making him discard to 0, and then you kill him on the turn while you're attacking, then maybe. But, like, you have to, like, get their hand down the whole time. Game 4, I played against somebody who was playing Harudagarn with the Agents of Destruction, so with the Babidi. Like I said, he tried to play one of the Agents of Destruction, and I preemptive striked it. So he basically tapped out right there, and then the following turn, I believe, was when I made my big push, because he was tapped out, and so I just kept attacking him. But I also, just to make sure that he didn't get more Agents of Destruction in play, actually, that was one of the games that one of the 2 times that I actually played the Krillin. But I used the Krillin to just blow up his Babidi, since Babidi makes it so Agents of Destruction cost 1 less, and then no specified cost. So then he wasn't really able to get more out, because I believe he was only charging blue, so he wasn't able to get the other cards out because he didn't have the other energies required to play it. And then, yeah. Game 5, I played against the Super Shenron Storm, and that really sucked. I'm actually surprised I won that game. And the only reason why I won is because my opponent was being a little too, like, aggro and pushing way too much. He like, over-comboed his hand just to try to get that whole, try to get the whole 27 cards engraved so that he could use the Super Shenron ability. And later on, he had, like, charged most of his Bardoks, and so he didn't really have any more Bardoks to play, and I think he might have overwhelmed one too. And so he recycled all his cards, but he didn't have Bardoks to play to keep attacking, or else he probably would have got me. And so later on he went to go combo all in to try to beat me, and I just managed to happen enough to block that attack. He passed, and then he was like, yeah, you got it. That's game. And so I won, and I was super surprised, and it was just awesome. And then for my final game, I played against Broly Storm, or the Broly lineage. I didn't get to really see what he was going to play, because I didn't really let him get that far. I mean, all my games were a lot of fun. The Super Shenron player was the one that I actually got to use Shocking Death Ball because he attacked with his leader no, that was the Broly one, never mind. Yeah, because Super Shenron can't attack. So, yeah. So, my last game was against the Broly. At one point, he attacked with Broly first, and then he attacked with Bardock. Or he was going to attack with Bardock, and I managed to Shocking Death Ball to Bardock to stop his play right there. Later on, when I was trying to do like some of my bigger plays, he ended up cold bloodlusting my Lord Slug young again, so I basically tapped out, and I didn't get to play any of my cards or untap energy because it was cold bloodlusted. But I managed to have blockers on field and my negates. He was using his Broly his main to rest a card, so he was trying to like rest all my blockers. But I managed to hold on. Like, at one point I did think that he was gonna get me. He ended up playing the Power Bardock, the double strike one that was from the Goku lineage deck. It was like one of the starter deck exclusives. They have like double strike, and then he went to just combo up, and I just happened to have enough to combo again between cards that I had on field and cards in my hand, and I managed to stall him out. And you could see that he was kind of like he was kind of sad that I had the cards, because he had one card in hand. I don't know what it was, but I don't think it was anything that he actually could have used. Like, he was just like, "How many cards do you have?" I was like, "I have none." and he's just like, "Oh man, I have to pass now," and he has nothing. He passed, I drew a card, I swung with my leader, drew another card, and I think I managed to play like Anguilla or something. So I got him down to 0 cards. I think I got Anguilla and Lord Slug young again. I played the Anguilla and the Lord Slug because I think I had four energies. And so I was able to take his one card. He got one. He was down to 1, and then I just double striked for the victory. But yeah, the Gunslinger event was a lot of fun. If you get to go to one, definitely recommend it. This was they said that this was like the biggest one that they had. I can't remember how many players they said it was, but there was a lot. It was definitely a lot of fun. I met a guy who didn't win any of his games, but like it was his first tournament too. He said he had a lot of fun playing. Got to see a lot of people play different decks. And I mean, it's true. You have a lot of fun. If you lose a couple rounds, then you still get paired with other people that have the same score as you. So like you just don't keep playing like a bunch of strong players. You eventually just keep playing other players that have your same record. So if somebody's doing really bad, you'll probably get matched with another person. So then at least you have a fair shot to try to at least win that round. So I mean, definitely a fun game. Recommend it if you get to go. I mean, just getting a playmat, or especially if you could go to the next Celebrations event. I mean, you get a playmat, and then you get packs, all for $20. That's like a really good deal. And like the farther you get, the more packs you get. So then it just makes it an even better deal. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile and just going over some of the plays. This is Saiyan TCG. Till next time.